Well, hello and good morning. Good
Good
morning
morning.
to everyone out there today on this beautiful Sunday morning.
Hold on.
And
Go ahead.
never fails. Never fails. Good morning, Vincent. You are the early bird. How you doing, young man? I've been missing your comments. You're gonna have to throw some at us today if you get a chance to. Anyway, I'm glad you're with us. And there's my sissy and brother-in-law. Enjoyed you guys so much yesterday. We had a nice, peaceful, uh, what do you want to call it? It wasn't a family time. We're just having a nice, peaceful time together and sitting at the table and chatting. And it was just nice. Sissy and I sat on the deck for a little bit, and it was good. It was good. In fact, I think I got some inspiration from sitting out there with her. Good morning, Brother Blue.
Good morning,
You and
everybody.
the family. I hope you're doing well. Dee Dee and George, I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for what you guys do for us all the time. I told them, I said, every time you need something, just let Dee Dee know and George know. They'll make sure you get it. And they do. Isn't it something to have people that love you like that? It's something.
It is.
Good morning,
It is.
Sandra. Good morning, sweetie. I'm glad you're here. And there's Sinette in Denmark. She says it's hot
Yeah.
in Denmark. We're having some pretty pleasant weather right this minute. It's been hot, but it's really nice today. I took baby girl out for a walk this morning, and we did well. We didn't go very far, but it was really nice out. Kind of breezy and not too humid. It's getting more humid as the time goes, but not right now. And then there's my darling Sue. I've been thinking about you, Sue.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about you ever since, when was it? Thursday, when I watched Oliver and Yolanda with Lisa and Bill.
Mhm.
I was thinking about you so much, and I'm glad you loved the music. Thank you, sweetie. There's Diane. Hey, sweetie, I'm glad you're here. Pat, hope you're feeling well. Mr. Joe, hope you're doing good this morning. And let's see who else is here. Apostle Norman.
Pastor Norman.
Hey, Pastor Norman.
Mr. Kessler.
That's my son in the gospel.
All you guys, Brother Joe.
And Brother Kessler.
Diane West.
I'm so glad you guys just coming on in here today. That's nice. There's Buzz, my friend
Buzz Jr.
And Sadie. I didn't mean to skip over you, Sadie.
Buzz
And
Jr.
some people get bored, I guess, with me doing this every time we come together. But I just like acknowledging the fact that you guys are here with us. Thank you so much. There's Noelle. Hi, sweetie.
Good to see you.
Yeah. And there's Adele. Hey, sweetheart. I tell you, it's a lot happening in our world, but that we are is stable.
Mm-hmm.
It's always stable.
A fixed position.
Yes. I was gonna do a affirmation, but I think I'm gonna just skip that for today and jump into what I feel like my sister gave me yesterday when we were sitting on the deck and talking. Good morning, Deb.
Deb?
We were sitting there talking, and of course, we got to talking about our body issues, different things our bodies are going through. And she made a comment about how that she feels like right now she's not being so much attacked from the mind in a lot of different areas, but it's all right now seems like it's centrally focused on the body and what the body's going through. And I told her, I said, yeah, that's kind of what's happening with us too. I said, it's almost like we're body obsessed. The mind is body obsessed.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it feel that way?
Yeah, it does.
And then I began to realize after I
well, actually, it wouldn't be like that if we were not waking up to realize the ideal of being conscious, body conscious, is the indication that we are waking up, and waking up seems to amplify because we're aware of it. We're more in tune with it than we thought. It's kind of like our hormones. Oh, I didn't know I was like that.
Right. And what I got out of what she was saying to me, which there was a lot more. I'm kind of summarizing it, but what I got out of it was that what we all are now witnessing is the same as what you're saying. It's because we're waking up, and because we are awake that we're noticing this. Because had we not been awake, we would not be noticing it. We would just be lost in it. But what we're noticing is the body mind, or I'm going to say it a different way, the mind that is relative to the body. So we are now beginning to get a good, clear picture of the mind that is relative to the body. The scriptures, the Holy Scriptures, the Bible calls it the carnal mind.
Well,
it's the mind that's completely consumed with this physical being.
That was really a good trait or indication that the watcher and the observer that you guys were talking about is more, what's say? It's another word, more. It's not aware. It is more recognized.
Yes.
That is the real you. That's seeing this.
Yes, and we talked about this too. We're not so much disturbed by it. We're just really seeing it.
Yeah, you really didn't realize you were that much. It was
and noticing how frequently the mind is obsessed with the body.
But that's the clue to being free.
It is.
It's the key to freedom.
Yes, it is.
One time you wouldn't even said that. You said, "Well,
we would have just talked about our bodies and what we're going through,
and we still do that, but now we see and know.
We know better,
which is it's not right or wrong. It's just what it is.
Yes,
you're waking up. She's awake. That percentage.
Yes,
and it says, and then when you look at it, you say, "Wow, I didn't realize that much." I wasn't aware that something was engrossed so deep
in
with
that. Yes,
and
not really, and we've thrown the term out, body mind, but not really knowing what that looks like and what it actually was. It's the mind that is consumed with the body.
Well, that is a part of the ego, because in that sense of a ghost with a toothache, it is that causes us to groom, want to look like others, body conscious. My car, my house.
So important what it looks like. Yeah. So important
what I
how
smell
it
like.
appears. Yes.
Looking, seeing, wearing, fashions, clothes,
and
shoes.
even to the point of being disturbed because it doesn't look a certain way. And
tall, short, wide, heavy, fat, skinny.
Yeah.
Raw bone, no bone.
I said this when we had dinner. We were fortunate enough to have dinner with Lisa Natoli and Bill Free on Wednesday. Oliver made that possible for us.
It was really good.
And it was really, really good. And Lisa and I sat and we were talking while we're waiting for dinner. And she made the statement and I made the statement as well, almost simultaneously, that this body really is insignificant, except for the fact that it transports us.
Like, since I've been having the left ear since surgery a couple 3 weeks ago, I hear the whooshing sound of air. And in order for me to talk to you with the sound either squeaking, blowing, or even the pain, I have to go into what is called, what is known as dividing asunder.
Okay.
I know that it's there, but continue on to ignore it, not ignoring it to say that it's not there, but it does not stop me from functioning in
You're practicing what you call the bypass.
Yeah, the bypass system.
You're just bypassing it for the moment.
And then
putting it off.
And then you find out that every one of these impasses, or every one of these speed bumps, every one of these things that seem to be amplified, they are really telling you that you are much more, I'm going to use the great word, but you are much more elegant and you are much more stateliness than you realize you were, because you are the potential to continue on with distractions, errors, handicaps, uh, where normally once in a while you'll slip out of joint back into that and it'll plague you, then you come back. Eventually, it's like when I saw Jesus one time, I was standing in front of the tomb and I saw him going in and like a revolving door. The stone over the door was coming a revolving door, and he turned and come back out. I said, "Why do you keep going in and out like that?" And that's the way awareness of mind gives the idea that here's a good one. It gives us the idea that. And I saw this a lady praying this morning. She was looking up in the sky, and she was aware of the sky God versus the in me as
the
me.
God in me, yes.
Yeah, and that is something we really emphasize on our classes, and some of you know it. To switch the pointing finger back to your inner identity, which does not mean any harm. It means you have, when you start doing this, you start attracting to you God in everything.
Yes.
That's mainly what I want to talk about today anyway. But
and we can get into that. I wanted to just give a couple of comments here. Renee says, the only thing that gets somewhat disturbed is the mind commentary on body sensations.
Well, you get above that. You get to the place where you will not even try to change it. You find a lot of people that are constantly having sessions and meditations and therapy. And here's the clue now. You must be willing to take a risk after so much conditioning. Take a risk to drop the subject of being the attention to these things and practice investigating into what is and what is not you.
Yes, and I was about to say that. So now that you know that what gets disturbed is what makes you disturbed is the mind commentary. Now you can even, like he said, take a step back and notice that you're not that is disturbed, but that is noticing something is disturbed.
When the doctor was injecting the steroid into my ear, they used something to try to get my hearing back. One of the first things he said, and the doctor said, breathe.
Yep.
Deep breathing. My mind said, it's hurt too much. I ain't breathing. I just want you to get this done. But I did it. It didn't stop the pain, but it proved to me that I am and can be something other than pain.
That
and
frantic mind.
Frantic mind,
other
than pain and procedures.
Exactly.
Wow. That sounds like,
that's good.
That made me see a man out in the desert riding on a camel. Camels in the desert are called cabs, desert cabs. And we get adapted to automobiles. And if you live out in a desert place and had a camel, you would not even get distracted by a car because you are so used to riding on a different kind of machine. You are a different kind of identity in your true self.
There's a scripture that came to mind in Ephesians 4 actually, and 22, and it coins the phrase "put off." It says that you put off concerning the former conversation, the old man. Put it off, and that's the bypass system. You putting it off. It's like you guys got cell phones. If somebody calls you and you're not ready to talk, you put it off.
Put it off.
You put it off.
Put it on hold.
You see it, you notice it, and you might even have some feelings about it.
Or you may
put it.
You may be talking, like you said, talking to somebody on the phone, and another call come in. And you either ignore it or you put somebody on hold.
You put it off.
And you say, I'll get back with me in 10 minutes to 5 minutes. Or you do the mind like that, it'll say, you don't want me to wait. This is more important. But it's not.
Yeah. So that's what we mean when we're saying the bypass system.
I think this is the ABCs to waking up, or
It
ABCs to
is
finding out that you already awake.
in your awakened state. Yes,
You're already in
yes.
that state.
I wanted to address something Sue said. She said, plus, we need the body in this dimension of time. Of course, that's what the body was made for, this dimension of time. And we created this body for that purpose. She asked the question, is it even possible to be here without a body?
Yes. Right now, Miss Sue, you are a physical and spirit being in one place right now with a body and your spirit. When you go to sleep at night, here's a good one. Now, hear this: ABC. When the mind shuts down, you are neither dead or alive. You're neither asleep or awake. You don't pay anybody. You don't owe anybody. You don't have to put no gas in your car. You don't have to take a bath. You don't have any problems. You don't have any anger. Anything that happened to you during the daytime, it is kicked to the curb.
Put off.
Put off. Put off. Put off. Now, when the morning comes, mind wakes up, body's there, is there. So you have experienced it, and you do it all the time.
And
Here's a
she
good one.
also mentioned this, honey, that she on last week had to have injections in her hand,
Yeah,
and that she had to get past the physical pain.
that's the same way I did about my ear last week. The
Mhm.
same thing. But now that we're talking, you are the spirit that is using your mouth and the mind, the body.
Mhm.
And even if you notice right now while we're talking, there are thoughts going through your head.
Yes.
Those thoughts are not you. You are the one that is aware of the thought.
Yes.
I may have to
yes.
step out in an emergency just in a few minutes, but I want you to keep things going for me. Okay, I can't help that. It's just the way things. Something
Yes.
just came up,
Okay.
and when an unexpected moment.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, she has a problem with that, but
Yes, sir.
yeah, I know she does, but it does, that will not
Just
imperfect
go,
you.
honey. Go on and do what you got to do. And
I'll
then
be
come
right
back.
back. I'll be
Then
right
come
back.
back. Okay.
Okay.
Oh wow. So I'm glad you see that, Sissy. And Judy, I'm glad you're here. And here is Yvonne. I'm glad you're here with us. Listen, so we were talking about that, and it it gave us so much clarity. It gave me clarity sitting there talking with her about this and realizing that's noticing this obsession with the body is actually that body mind, that mind that's relative to the body, that mind that is what the scripture says. I said is it calls it carnal. It is the body, the mind that is concerned with the flesh, or concerned with this incarnation, concerned with this identification as a body. And uh and I think one of the things that's hardest for some people to transcend to that and feel like they don't get this message of non-duality is because they're so heavily identified with the body and the mind. And because of that, they tend to expect things to come to them and things to leave them, to be freed from it, and to for it to or something to be given. And so you're still acting or identifying as a me that's to receive, or a me that's to let go. And with the yesterday also we were listening to Francis Lucille, which gave us a very good session. It was only about 7 minutes long. We looked at it, and he was talking about the mystical experiences. We those of you who are here listening to us, I am positive you are mystics because you've had mystical experiences. But he broke it down to make it very plain to us, and helped me to understand that there are two types of mystical experiences. some One mystical experience can take you to a place of non-duality, where you completely lose yourself and find yourself only in God as God. The other mystical experience is like what we have, he called it a longing to connect with God, a longing to feel the presence of God. All of that is what mystics are, he said, constantly in a state of longing. And I remember when my husband and I first started pastoring the church, our central message was union. It was union and being in union with God. And we didn't talk about oneness so much, but we talked about union, that connection, that and that I call that my Jesus in me days, where I was really aware of Jesus being in me, but it's still he was in me, but still compartmentalized, as I've said before, in me like a raisin in a bun, not in me like the sugar in the bun, like all of the ingredients mixed together. So my version or my understanding of union had to expand. It we left the separatist mindset of a me trying to connect, a me trying to receive, and we entered all the way into. Also, Francis said this. He said, some people, when they have near death experiences, they leave their bodies and they see the light. They see the light and they come back and they know the essence of God, and they come back with all of this loving understanding and the fact that God is no judgment and all of this. But then there are others who have near death experiences. They see the light and they merge with the light. And in merging with the light, they lose that sense of a separate self and enter into the oneness. And so we throw out, my husband and I throw out all these terms. And if you listen to any spiritual teachers, you hear these terms of non-duality and all of that. But non-duality just simply means not two, not two. And so you have the opportunity to leave the disturbed me. And that's what non-duality is. It's not fixing the disturbed me. It's not getting rid of the disturbance. It's leaving the disturbed me. And that is your true essence. That's the nature, the essential nature that you came into this world with. And it makes no sense to try to keep getting rid of the things that bother you when you can just move away from them. You do it internally, and it's not a physical movement.
You don't get rid of. You are none of those things that has to be removed. When you finally see and settle the dust of beingness in your true identity, your true self, capital S self.
Yeah.
You don't try to practice what the yogis and all the other people's practice of silencing the mind. Some can do it and some can't.
Right.
So there's a judgment in the mind of the ego, self judgment, that if I can't do that, then I can't get my inner self, my mind quiet. Mm-hmm. I can't hear what spirit is trying to show me.
Exactly.
That is a fallacy. It's not true.
Right.
Because you can, and you do it all the time while you drive. Now you take some people,
and it's the put off again.
It's put off, and you drive in your car and you see people on cell phone. They slow all traffic down. They are not used to dividing themselves up to continue on, and some are good at it. But at this point, you are maturing awareness because you are finding out that you can have everything wrong with what you say
that you see
and you still function
and still be okay.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
and
right.
still be okay.
Okay.
Exactly. And we've seen that happen. We've had so many examples of that with people who've had physical disabilities who went on and to do some spectacular feats and to have very full lives and to be not just full in the sense of being able to do things, they were fulfilled.
Yeah.
Even with those limitations.
There's a scripture I read here: the thief cometh not but for to steal, to kill, and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they may have it more abundantly. What that means, we've interpreted that as blessings, but here's the right translation of that. The thief is that part that distracts your attention from your true identity.
Mm.
It doesn't have to be a demon or devil. It could be a car, a house, a bill, a phone call. It could be as simple as a scratch or itch or something in your eye. The thief is actually saying, uh, I don't want your attention to be on anything else other than what is
This.
troubling and bothering you.
Yes.
It don't let your monkey mind put a identity on it as though it is so hopeless, helpless, and that I can't
And
function.
hard.
It's hard, and I can't. And if I can't get this, I can't be perfect. Go to your perfect already, self with the distraction. This is the key. This is the key here now. You drive your car every day, and there are distractions under your wheel that's
Mhm.
rolling on the pavement.
And like as you said, when it's raining, the windshield wipers doing that's a constant distraction.
Yeah.
And you bypass that.
And I heard a sage say one time the teacher, driver train was teaching this young person how to drive, and while they were driving, they were doing fine. But when it started drizzling, the windshield wiper started moving, and the person started falling the windshield wiper, wobbling in the road. And then when it got real fast, they went steering went fast, and he had to stabilize, he had to stop and wait. You're not that windshield wiper. You are the controller of the car. You're the spirit.
Yes.
So pay attention to.
I mean, it's real simple
Yeah.
examples of what was very practical things that we're talking about. Like, for instance, if you're driving at night, and let's just say the lights bother your
Come in
eyes,
your eyes, yeah.
and as you get older, sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
I found out that what was bothering me, the reason it was bothering mostly was because I was looking at the lights.
Yes.
I had to take my attention away from the lights.
As I started driving, what I found out how to do, I flash my lights if they got them on high beam. Here's what I do. I look over to the right of the curve. Now notice this. While you're driving your car, you are inside the car and outside the car, especially on the fenders. In my Jeep, my wheels stick out under the fender about 4 or 5 inches more than the average car. So when I pull up to a drive-through window, I look at the tires and I re-reference my awareness and extension. It's called the spider sense. So what I do, I
got that from Spider-Man.
Yeah, I enlarge my awareness to the edge of those tires there, and that will keep me from rubbing the wall or running into something. It means you finally realize that there's more to you than the distraction,
and that you are not restricted
Yep.
to a certain locale.
Yep.
You can actually extend yourself out to pass those tires.
The old
You
way,
can extend yourself out
the old way
beyond
of the
your
old
body.
old religious church school is I can't serve God, I can't follow God, but all this noise in my head. You do it every day.
Every day.
You do it every day on the job. When my wife is watching something or my brother-in-law looking at television, they don't hear nothing.
He's talking about you, brother-in-law.
But he can be distracted. Now, here's the clue. I and the Father are one. That oneness that Jesus talked about does not dissipate itself because I have to go get a drink of water, because I have to walk from one end of the house to the other.
Yeah.
You finally realize that all this stuff you've been hearing for years has been nothing but a simple, easy thing to get away from. You don't have to fast and pray for 40, 80, 90 days. You don't have to read your Bible every morning just to get a scripture for the day so your day will go right. You find out that your day, right or going wrong, has nothing to do with your true identity that is never distracted by days, weeks, and months.
This is another thing that I've come to understand too. And Sue, you'll like this, because when we get distracted, your purest essence that you are is what notices you're distracted.
Yes.
And
yes.
then there's the disturbance that something is distracted. But if you think about it, and I heard someone else say this, you're judging yourself for the distraction, for being distracted, and then you're judging yourself because you're disturbed.
Here's what come up in some of my judge. Who is the judge?
Exactly. That's my point.
Okay.
So in essence, what's happening, the whole thing is being acted out by the judge.
Please.
It's the judge that gets disturbed by the distraction. So it's only, I don't want to say it's only human to be distracted, but it is a part of being in a physical body as an individual to have distractions. So that comes up as a judgment against it is the internal judge and someone said this, and I think it's true. It is when we judge ourselves for acting a certain way, then it's because we have self-hate.
Now watch this. I'm going to lay it on you real cool and easy. What would you say if I told you that before we all came to this earth, in our contracts, we set up every last one of these distractions to come here in this dimension and wake up to every bad thing that we could find. Now watch this. This is what I'm finding out. The good, the bad, and the ugly was put here for all of us who came into this world sleep to wake up and allow your God identity to return to that place of awareness that it was before the foundation of the world and keep functioning with all the distraction. That is what you call deep awareness consciousness, deep awareness deliverance, great awareness. You mean to tell me I don't have to try to stop anything from working anymore?
Because the moment I experienced true freedom was the moment I realized I don't need to be fixed.
Thank you. Now you hear.
Oh man, and that when these reactions or things come up that are acted out, and I see them acting out, and then there's a part of me that wants to be disturbed by it, but then I'm realizing I'm not even that, and so when I came to the realization I don't need to be fixed, all of that just. It had no significance.
Read that, what Sinet said.
I said significance. Sinet says, what about keep on seeing the trouble, like economic, and each time I just notice it as a sensation in the body and thought. I keep the feeling on worthiness coming through me. It's like waiting for the allowance.
Okay, you ready? You put that there, and that stuff is being used by your power. You wanted it there, if I had such a thing as want of spirit, so that when you came here, you would use that. So that is a measuring stick in your life and ours to tell us how deep we could go on the opposite side of awareness of our true self. So that is a tremendous asset for you to have that to be there and look at it and the question being answered. You mean to tell me if I was that deep in that distraction, how much deeper could I be in knowing who I am aware of as my real self? Boy, that would be great if that was being there and I could bounce off of it and see. You mean tell me that thing is telling me that I am much more than that by seeing it?
Yes.
And by being in it?
Yes.
That's your school.
Yes. It was, and the freedom wasn't so much free from the mind chattering. It wasn't free from reactions. It wasn't being free from having meltdowns. It wasn't being free. It was being free from self-consciousness.
It was Sue said, all kinds of judgments are going on.
Yeah.
That's right. Everybody in this dimension is like that. It's something about us waking up and getting saved and all that kind of stuff that gives us the idea that if I am going to give my life to God and walk the middle path, that none of these things are supposed to be there. Honey, you'll see more bumps in the road because you are sharper
Because you're
now
awake,
in your
yes.
discernment than you were before
And the light is brighter.
Yeah.
It's shining on all of
You
those
can see
things
the
that are
dirt.
dark. It shines
That
on
means
everything
you
that's
are
dark.
the light showing up the dirt.
But because in oneness there is only one player.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
No matter what the player is doing, it is saying this. It is still the same player. So everything is beautiful, but the judge has labeled some things beautiful, some things bad, some things ugly, but none of it is.
It's almost like Jesus said to Judas with a kiss on the jaw, you seem to think that because you received some profit from betraying me or making it look like I was the crook and everybody else was wrong. Jesus said around the table that one of y'all is going to do this.
Mhm.
And you know what?
Mhm.
And then he turned around and said, this was destined to be there
Mhm.
before the foundation of the world. And
So my script could be fulfilled.
yes, look at this. Look, you are so blessed to be able to talk about this. You're talking about it because you're free from it. You're talking about it because you're free from it. You're talking about it, and you waiting for God to change it.
Yeah. And you see it because you see it because you're not lost in it.
It's already changed before you change it, so there's no need for you to change.
And I just heard somebody's mindset. That's just too simple.
Yes,
that's too
yes,
simple. And it is. It's just that simple. And the suffering is completely eliminated when you accept that you're okay.
Here's a good one. Our country wants to take away the rights of control of your body.
Yeah.
Our country wants to put the law out there. Okay, why get upset with it? Go ahead on about your business because you don't want to get distracted from your true identity. Watch this. We had a daughter that had ready to give birth to children. No, hold on.
Yeah.
And that was the case came up. If she had the children, she would die. You got to make a choice. It's the same way about your distractions. You got to make a choice. Are you going to become the distraction? Or are you going to remain the observer of it and let it be what it is? Because your strength is, see, the distraction is revealing to you the strength of your true self to observe it without diving in it.
It cannot be you because you notice it.
There was an old boy one time, he was praying in the spirit, and they know the scripture says that you edify, build up yourself on your most holy faith. So he went in stayed 8, 9, 10 hours in the room, in his room, motel room, practicing, building himself up and praying in the spirit. And he had a meeting that night, and he said, I think I'm ready. So he got his Bible tucked on his arm, and he went on out the door. And when he went out, he slipped and fell in the swimming pool. And when he went down to the bottom, Bible and all, he said, and when he come up, he got what he said, I believe I need to go back and give a little more edification. I don't think I'm as fully aware of who I am like I thought I was. That's the clue right there. You're finding out with that distraction how much in degree that you could be attention and awareness of your true identity. That's a measuring stick.
And the other thing is, I'm learning this, that a lot of the disturbance or the desire to try to hurry up and wake up or reach that point where we felt like we had actually, we got it. A lot of that was because we want to be different and we don't like who we it's the mind not liking itself, and then I'm looking at myself and thinking I should be different, the mind saying I should be different. And all of that is just still mind commentary.
Give an example now. I'm sitting here talking to you. I can stop this here up, and all I hear in this one ear right now, with my attention on it, wind ringing and sound. This ear is practically deaf. But my cousin said, if you couldn't hear it all out of there, you wouldn't be hearing the wind.
Exactly.
You wouldn't be hearing the bell and the squeaking. Okay.
Mhm.
Now I'm talking to you about the ear. In order to talk about it, I have to depart from it.
Mhm.
There's a certain measure of me that is talking about
Mhm.
what is this that puts the awareness of me being able to talk strength of your inner self,
Yeah.
the strength of your courageous divine infinite. You are the walking power of God, and that distraction, don't name it, don't shape it, don't give it a body, don't give it an okay, a yes.
Mhm.
Don't say,
Mhm.
uh,
Mhm.
I, I'm gonna fix this. Hey, I
Mm.
tried to fix it. I put drops in there along with the dog. He like to tore my head up. So I said, I ain't mess with this thing no more. Here it is. Once you understand this, you'll say the same thing by a inward divine covenant. This noise, I found out is not me. I done had enough of it. Turn around and walk away from it in your attention.
Mhm.
Once in a while, you'll be walking at the mall and in the grocery store, and that thing will crock his head up and make you feel self-conscious.
Mhm.
Oh, it loves that. It was designed to get your attention away from yourself. But go, like the doctor said, go ahead and breathe. Remember, I did say this. Get yourself, your false self off your hands. What if you can't get it off your hands? No problem. It never was on your hand. Your attention made it seem like it was on your hand. Do you know that you and God came as two into a world, as oneness into a world asleep? You were the sleep that came and seemed like you are the sleep that's going and coming.
You said something on Thursday when we were with Pastor Norman on impromptu
Mhm,
that stuck with me. You
mhm.
said we're to deal with life as if as without skin,
Oh yeah, yeah,
without
yeah,
skin.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All of these issues are things that if we live this life as though there's no skin.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
That's right.
And that simply means to go to that part of yourself, and it's not a going, but it's allowing your essence to take the forefront. It's like, I'm gonna say it like this. It's like, if you think about the one that's disturbed, that part of you that's disturbed, is it in front of your pure self, or is it behind it?
There's a so.
Is it in front, or is it behind it? If it's in front, that's who you've identified
Mm-hmm,
yourself
mm-hmm.
as. Or is it behind it? What's in the forefront? The disturbed self, or that essence that you are, that God self? What's in the forefront?
Mm-hmm. There's a clue.
It's a clue.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just another way to look at it. If that disturbed self is in front of it,
Mm-hmm.
then it's putting itself out there as, this is me. This is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But is that who you are? So going to that pure self would be like allowing it to recede and allowing that you are to come forward and take the forefront. Does that? And I hope that makes some
Mm-hmm.
sense. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's simplistic, but it makes good sense.
Some wake up from what we're talking about. Some wake up from what we're talking about. Some wake up to.
To it. Mhm.
Some wake up not knowing that they are awake
Mhm.
until one of these impasses pop up and show you that you're awake.
Mhm.
Some of us have these impasses that show up that show us that we've never been asleep.
Exactly.
Some of these impasses pop up like that to show you how to use it to teach others, depending on your course of miracles. Hmm.
Mhm.
This, what we're saying now, is the course of
Yes.
miracle.
Yes, it is.
It is the miracle that you brought the subject up about distraction, or we did, so that you could look at it and say, "My God, I am now I've done moved from the 12th grade. I'm now in college. I'm in college. How do you cook with 4 eyes on your stove?"
I just thought about
Mhm.
4 eyes. I did like buckwheat
Mhm.
when he read that recipe and he
Mhm.
said,
Mhm. On the box.
sit on stove till well done.
Yeah.
He sat on this. He literally
He
sat
sat
on
up
the
there
stove.
wiping sweat.
When you said 4 eyes on the
Hey,
stove,
and when he
I just saw four
and when he
eyes.
wiped sweat, what color was the sweat?
It was black sweat.
Black sweat
On
come
a
off his
white wall.
white sweat come out and hit the wall.
Oh my God.
You don't need to fix anything.
You don't.
You are the fixer, the fixing. You carry the greatest, awesome gift of seeing what we're talking about now. Let me tell you something. We are up to something, and we didn't know what it was until this kind of teaching came along.
Mm-hmm.
I hear somebody doing the Alpha and the Omega.
Uh-huh.
The aha. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that all the mistakes that seem to be in my life were not anything but telling me as an empath there's something better on the other side awaiting me, and it's not at a distance from me. It's right here in my shoes.
It's right here in my shoes. That's where I had to find God, right here in my shoes.
Put up a signpost and say, "I know who the crook is."
And is there a crook?
Yeah. I just say that. But you know what? Depending on the last, okay, here comes. Okay, oh wow. Okay, well, listen to this. Here comes. You are going through in this evolution what you experienced in the last evolution, which means you set up a different Olympic game or a hurdle
obstacle
course. You set up a different obstacle course that would inclusive the last evolution that you had and found out things. You're using it now. I feel this. Using it now to spearhead you. So, hey, listen to this. You can go back many thousand evolutions and in the download of your superconscious self and use everything that you overcame in distractions from many of those evolutions and use it now. That's why you came to Earth, because this is the last one for most of us to use the economy and the evidence. Don't have to keep reading over Genesis 1. Don't have to keep reading through the 16 books and all that. You know now what we're telling you, that these steps that you took 2,000 years ago and gained insight with, you're using that insight now.
This is your final round.
Yes. This is it.
Your final.
Glory be to God.
This is your final incarnation.
Man, this is great.
At this point, you've decided I am allowing myself to see reality as it is.
Now listen at your brilliancy coming forth. Listen at your sunshine sonnet shining through. Look at your theology changing into a reality of the substance of a thing that was hoped for, that is now evidence made seen.
And your beliefs all changing into knowing.
Everything is changed right now, because all of a sudden you begin to say, wait a minute, let me tally up on this thing, because I didn't go through all I went through in the invisible world 2022 years ago or back before then for me to come up here and repeat the same thing over again. No. And I'm going to tell you something else. None of us are repeating the same thing over and over again, because if it looks like it, it's because we have used it to spearhead us in the past time, and we're using it now. But the lie and the ego is that we're repeating something, incarnating something. No. You know, I told you a long time ago what reincarnation is, the definition of it is. And you ready to hear it? It's very crude. It's the same damn thing over and over and over again. Now, you done found out how to use that same damn thing over and over again to keep you in the attention of your true identity. So now look at it. Somebody said, you come to the place where you say, thank God for the impasse. Thank God for the repeat. Because now the repeat is telling me I must have passed it the last time. That's why I'm repeating, because it's using itself as a point of contact for me to go further into my awareness of who I really am. Now I really know who I am now because I am repeating the same thing over again. Now, I got it. Take that to the bank and withdraw all your money. Leave a little bit in there because it's going to draw some interest. The interest to you is, I am very interested in finding out more about this. I believe I can smell the coffee in the kitchen. I believe I can smell the rabbit trail because my dog is hunting. I understand now when I was little why I went out in the woods with my parents and picked blackberries. That was part of my love life revealing itself to me. Okay, here comes. That was part of the love life that I am revealing itself to me through distractions.
Mm-hmm.
Did that good?
Mm-hmm.
I want to speak it down. Oh, have mercy. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for every distraction that seemed to be asset, but is now made a liability.
Well, I'll show you how the distraction is beautiful.
Yes.
The distraction
You
is
distracted me now looking at you.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the distraction is beautiful. I'll use you an example. As an example.
Beautiful.
With the hearing issue,
yes.
the tinnitus that
yes.
you have.
Yes.
We would say it's terrible that you lost your hearing.
Yeah.
The judge would say this is an absolute tragedy that you lost your hearing and that you're suffering with tinnitus. But in the process of you dealing with the deafness and the tinnitus, you have honed your skills.
Honed. That's right. That's right.
Your skills
zeroed in
to bypass.
Sonar.
You have mastered the art of bypass.
Look out, girl.
So that has been the greatest blessing.
You know that's the truth.
So you say it's beauty in it all. It's beauty in it all.
Oh, that's all right.
It's beauty in all of it.
What y'all think about this? Come on, talk to me.
It's beauty in all of it.
Okay. You got something there?
No.
Go ahead. Okay. Go ahead. Okay. All right. This is also called the know God self through distractions, revealing itself so that we can see that even the know God distractions, or we say, is really a God asset in our life. This world was designed for this to take place. That's why we came. That's why we projected here.
Yes.
It's a holographic projection.
Yes.
Oh, shucks, y'all. We're getting on down through this thing. The eternal walls of the pure self is the calling of us from distraction. Distraction is calling us to come home and stay there. If we don't stay there, the distraction will pull us away from home.
Your distraction is your practice ground. It's
Look
your
out
practice
there.
ground.
Yeah.
It's
Actually, the
it's
distraction
not-
sounds like a positive
It's
self,
not
don't it?
your enemy. It's your practice
It's your
ground.
asset.
Yes, it's your practice.
It's your
ground.
blessings.
Yes.
Judas sitting around a table, he fulfilled everything that God said he would do. And the people that he worked with to get the money or the silver, they were fulfilling God's purpose.
Yes.
Every tree, every branch, every blade of grass, every car you pass, everybody you see, words on the telephone or not. They are tremendous blessings of God. Now watch this. When you start seeing God in everything, you start attracting to you a whole new different set of adventures and delightsomes.
And doesn't it feel better?
Yes, it does.
To see this condition in the body
Yes.
as a blessing,
Yes,
than it does to be resistant
look
of
out
it
now.
and thinking I shouldn't have this because I don't deserve this.
I finally
Doesn't
found
it
out.
feel better?
That's right. I finally found out what the big definition of being born again is. The big definition of the new birth experience is not the old man being new or getting a hold of something new, or it's not what we call believing in our salvation being done at the cross. The key to salvation is I finally woke up from the sleeping
Yes.
of not being one with God. And now I am aware that salvation is really moving into a part of me that has never been lost.
Yes. Yes.
Except
that
for the belief in
cannot
separation.
that cannot be lost.
The,
Cannot be lost.
the losing self is that awareness that gives off the idea that I've been away. The prodigal son tell you that I've lost my salvation and I never was with God. That's one of the biggest lies that your liar has ever said. It's like you going out in the back, let your dog out. You call your dog turn around, look at you, said he ain't nothing but a liar. And then he said, I ain't coming up there. And when you get some food in your hand, the dog said, I believe they done woke up to my nature.
Yes. And I want to keep using you as an example because
Yeah,
I know
please understand.
because what's happening to you is teaching me.
Yes.
The fact that you have this issue in the body has also dictated now that you don't feel as comfortable in settings where there are a lot of people with a lot of noise.
Tell me about it.
We can look at that and say that's bad.
Yeah.
But in actuality, it may be. Remember years ago when you first started preaching, you used this term a lot, consecration.
Mm-hmm.
It was when God was calling you into a deeper union and pulling you away from the world. Look
what Miss Christine said.
Yes. She said, Paul said, and I say, none of these things move me from who I am.
Ain't that a hot dog?
Yes.
Now you learn it this, I understand. Now listen to this. I understand what it means to wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
Ain't brush your teeth, ain't wash your face. You stink.
And you can't hardly get out of bed.
You can't even blow your own breath.
Yeah, we know what that's like.
But you don't stop brushing your teeth because of it.
Try brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand.
Let me tell you about that. Since this shoulder here been operated on, and this one, I had to make some changes. And with this ear being deaf, let me tell you something. Somebody say, he ought to stop confessing that. I don't have to confess it or not.
Because you're not resisting.
Because it does not change.
Yeah, you're not in resistance.
My faith is now who I am in my true self identity.
Yes.
So when I got ready to use my right hand, I couldn't move it like this. I couldn't put it back there. I was in a bind, and this thing, panic come over my mind and my attention. And I tried to use this left hand, and it wouldn't work. And it hit me even more in awareness. Watch this. When after losing the building because of the damn panic, and the people that were with us were not with us, and the giving had stopped to a certain point, and then I looked around and I got online, and I found out that stopped, so that you guys out there would give to us more than I could have received
in the building,
in the brick and mortar. Mm-hmm. What a blessing it is. But that does not remove the thought of the memory of what I experienced in these 35 years.
It doesn't remove the feeling of loss.
That's right.
It doesn't remove the feeling of feeling limited.
That's
It
right.
doesn't remove those things.
And
But we practice the bypass.
And you guys are the angels of God that is sending the funds in 24/7. And more than that, your presence showing up online with your name is nothing but an angel of the Lord in the physical world looking and talking to us. I am grateful for you gods out there who know what I'm talking about. Thank you very much. Okay.
So this morning in my walk with baby girl and we walked, and I gave my mind an exercise. And the exercise was to find everything it could be thankful for. Everything it could be thankful for. Of course, most of it was relative to only the physical. But it had to have an exercise. The mind had to have an exercise to bring it along with what I am.
What a miracle. I go to the mailbox. I look. Something there, something's not. There's a part of me that wants to change its attitude. I have to remember that these people, that one guy was sending me money constantly on the line, on to the mailbox, but then it stopped. My mind said, what am I going to do now? I was counting on this and I was depending on that, and that doesn't stop. My wife always told me, she said, sometimes these lakes will dry up. And I said, but this, as soon as that one stopped, another one started. Yes. Let me tell you something.
It's about trusting. It's about trusting the universe, trusting source, trusting God to take care of you. Just trust that God is taking care of you.
You are the starting up of a new thing taking place. Oh, here's the revelation. Yes, sir. Okay. He just told me that everything negative that seemed to be coming into awareness is God telling you that something is getting ready to miraculously change for your good.
Yes. And it is always going to change because nothing ever remains the same.
I heard your angel speak out of your mouth then, and you know what it said?
Always. You are being taken care of. Type that in. I am being taken care of.
Okay, we're going to have to quit. Okay?
Yeah.
It's time to quit. I know the time going, ain't it?
Yeah.
I didn't know it went that fast.
Do you have another appointment?
Yes.
It's what? What have you got to
do? Another appointment I got? Look at the watch. That's the one. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you. You know, I told the wife, I said, we want to get her. I saw something in my therapy when I went for therapy. They had a round table. It was half round, half moon table. And I thought come to me in a picture.
You have a desire to sit in front of some people.
Yeah, we want to set up a place where we can have round table. I mean, I can see the
table discussion.
Yeah, I see the table getting larger because more are coming to sit around the table to discuss what do you call. We are discussing the Eternals. They made a movie about that called The Eternals. We are talking about the Eternals. I'm talking to the Eternals. You are taking care of God, taking care of himself in your form. Yes. Glory be to God.
Yes, and tell your mind, I am being taken care of.
Remember, I told you what to say to your mind now. You may not like what I'm saying. Some people say I'm cussing online, but I'm not.
You have to practice the bypass.
That's right.
Until your mind goes along with you. Because your mind does not go along with you immediately in the truth of who you are and the truth of reality. Your mind resists most of it. So before your mind agrees with you, embrace it, speak it out, and live it.
To the degree of the tragic distraction and measurement is supposed to be to the degree that you enter into full awareness. Change that awareness of the blocks and the impasses over to waking up, because you just saw how much power you are over the distraction by the distraction being there.
And don't tell me you cannot trust, because if you drive, you trust every day. You trust that that other person gonna stay on their side of the road.
That's right.
So every time you crank your car, you trust that it's gonna move and go down the street.
Yes.
You know how to trust.
Yes.
Every time you get ready to sit on a chair, you trust that that chair is gonna hold you up. So don't tell me you don't know how to trust.
Yes, you do. You are trusting right now. You don't know while you're sitting there, when you breathe out, you lose your breath and it turns around and come back in.
Mm-hmm. And you're trusting
You're
it to
trusting
do that.
it. You don't sit there 24 hours and say, breathe out. Breathing.
But you sit on a chair and you know when you sit on that chair, you trust that that chair is going to hold you.
Yeah.
Unless you sat in one that is rickety and fell one time, then you might not trust it. But if you ever sat on a solid chair, you trust that chair is going to hold you.
That chair is operating in beingness. I am this alreadiness, absoluteness. You are not telling that chair to keep its legs tight, to keep things in shape. You just done entered into rest.
You've
You've
entered into its being.
Yeah, and that chair is not struggling with you either.
Yes.
It just exists. You are just like that in your eternals.
You are being taken
Hallelujah.
care of.
You know what? I see somebody right now in a situation that seemed to be blocking some money that's been coming to you in the mailbox, and it's been blocked up because there's been a misunderstanding of some print or some information. I see that information being moved to a side to where you can receive in another way the same blessing, much beyond what you were getting.
Amen.
I see that. I see that with a lot of it, and it is absolutely it is absolutely Buzz Jr. Look out, old Buzz, because Buzz is moving on.
Buzz, we were laughing at you talking about
Buzz,
everybody hoarding up the
toilet paper. The economy is going down because somebody holding up the toilet paper.
We're laughing about you, Buzz.
Buzz, I want to take a step and come on over there somewhere in the spirit world and talk to you. But we have money problem because they done bought up all the toilet paper in the store. Ain't that a hot dog?
Yeah, that's the shortest because they're
Buzz, if you need a roll, I'll fax it to you, bro. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I remember a time, Buzz, when we little, we didn't have no toilet paper. We didn't have one roll, and all we had was a piece of notebook paper, or funny paper, or the newspaper, or a brown paper bag. Yeah, we had to do it. So now we okay, Buzz. Okay, Buzz. Okay, Buzz. Everything is okie dokie.
We love you guys, and we'll see you again on Tuesday at 7, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. And again on Thursday at 12:30 with Impromptu.
There you go, Buzz. Hey, Buzz, do like my old guy said to me, say, kill a rock, wreck a train, and dare a piece of iron to cuts rheumatism.
Leslie said to Buzz, you can catch a ride on her bus. She drives a bus.
Yes, up there in Pittsburgh. Oh, she drives the big bus, man. She drives the double deckers and the two twin together joint. She drives the big machine. I told Leslie I wish I could come up there and ride the bus with her because I love that.
Put that on your bucket list of things to do. In the meantime, we thank you guys for your support. And I put up here how to do that. If you can text it to CLC Greensboro to 73256, or you can use paypal.me/cornerstone35, or you can mail it. It's P.O. Box 36259, Greensboro, North Carolina, 27416.
Yes.
If you want to give the pastor and I, we thank you for the gifts that you give to Cornerstone, the entity, the non-virtual, the virtual church. We thank you because it still has its viability and it's still going on. So we thank you for your support of that, your tithes and your offerings. For those of you who are local Cornerstoners, thank you for continuing to send in your tithes and your offerings for Cornerstone. And if you want to give the pastor and I personally, you can go to Cash App $A Sawyer C, or paypal.me/ACE Sawyer 72. And we love you. We'll see you again on Tuesday.
Okay, Red Table Talk. We're looking forward to somebody coming forward with more ideas on this Red Table Talk.
Yeah.
Okay.